Hey everybody, welcome to Crowdfunding Countdown, where we take a look at every single... Oh, I said the right phrase! Oh, that should tell you where my head is at today. I'm so sorry, but we're going to take a look at every single board game campaign that is finishing up this week. I'm going to read through the rules, so you don't have to, and you can just trust that I did it, and trust that I did a good enough job, and I know every single rules minutia that exists. However, we do have a sponsor for this episode, so let's get past Chris to tell you about it. Happy Halloween. It's September. Get over yourself. Why am I dressed like this? Well, that's because I'm doing an ad for Temu. If you don't know what Temu is, well, they're sponsoring this episode of Crowdfunding Countdown. And so Temu contacted me. Actually, no, let me rephrase that. 4 different people from Temu contacted me, and they said, listen, we love your channel. They're big into board games, and they really wanted me to do an ad. And I said, listen, I've heard so many stories, or I've looked it up, that y'all are a little sketch. You're going to need to send me some stuff first for me to do an ad for you. And they said, yeah, absolutely. Have a $100 credit and buy to your heart's content. And I did. I did buy to my heart's content. And I was expecting really just nothing. But the stuff that I got, when used in the right way, this actually might be just a cheaper Amazon. That's what it is, right? It seems like they're selling a lot of the same stuff that Amazon does for cheaper. I got this stupid mask, which I'm very surprised is a good quality. I got this other mask, and you know what? I really would like these characters to appear at different points in Crowdfunding Countdown at some point. That was my purpose. And I feel like maybe I've spoiled that for you all, but I kind of have to show what I have. I got this incredible necklace, and honestly, I really wanted one that said, I am a wolf, I am strong. Let me see if I can find it. It's a little troubling to me that the first auto search up there is just panties, but hey, I guess Temu knows what my audience likes. It's my audience, I swear. The amount of wolf necklaces here, I cannot find the one that I actually wanted. Oh, because it was funny. I go, if you're new to this channel, I go for the things that are the most funny. So while I'm scrolling through looking for this wolf necklace, let me show you my other pièce de résistance purchase, which is, of course, this thing. I mean, yeah, I had to, right? It's in the name of science, of which I had to do these things. So let me get that on the screen for you as I peruse through these wolf necklaces so you can see it in all its glory. Although there is this one that says, I love you today, tomorrow, always, which is on the back of the one that I have. This episode is off the rails, but I wouldn't have it any other way. This one, if you can see, says, I'll hold you in my heart until I can hold you in heaven. And yes, Chris from the future will be wearing this the whole episode, and Chris from the past won't be, because I don't want to give it away last week. Anyway, there's a bunch of silly stuff you can get on there, which I did. There's also a bunch of stuff that, like, you can get cheaper. For example, this is a little visual timer that you can use, and you just crank it, and then you can see it counts down for those of us who are visual people and cannot get out the door on time when their loving partner desperately needs to. Well, you can have one of those. These are basically just like knockoffs of the Loop earplugs, which I really like. I sleep with earplugs at night. Time's up. Just cheaper knockoff earplugs, which actually seem basically equal to the ones that I paid like $30 to $40 for, and that was like 10 or something on credit. These, I've been wanting to get one of these for a while. It's a digital caliper, and basically, like, if I'm working with foam core, then somebody put this as an idea in the insert making video, and thank you to whoever did that. You can just like hack into it and then drag it, and it'll make those lines for you. I'm very excited. This was like $7 or something. I also made sure to get a cable, mini HDMI to USB. It's what connects one of my cameras, and it also connects a PlayStation 4 controller to charge, and it's working very well. In fact, it's charging a controller that wasn't being charged by another cable, which I thought was interesting. I really wanted to get like a couple cables as well. So, like, honestly, for the stuff that you can get, I didn't get as much tech as I wanted to potentially to try, so I can't like vouch for that. But because I also wanted to spend the credit on board games as well. Some people had said that they were getting board games off of Temu and that they were counterfeit. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. If it's a fake, it's a really good fake. Like anything in terms of Amazon, right? There are certain sellers that can sell things. But I got Avalon because it's something that I'm intimately familiar with, and I got the Crew because my parents have a copy and my neighbors also have a copy. It's very easy to get a copy as well. Their board game selection is very limited, to be clear. And I did see some like very clear fakes for Splendor that they're just like, you should never get. I don't know, like I'm looking through this, it very well could be, but it feels similar. I'm really on the fence. I thought it was going to be for sure an easy way to tell, but it does feel like pretty similar, and the colors feel pretty similar to like a normal Avalon. I'll do a side-by-side comparison though, just to double check for everybody. But that's something that obviously I wanted to check out because I'd heard people were looking into it. Anyway, that's it. This is the ad. If Temu is happy with my sort of unbiased breakdown of all their stuff, then I might have a little link in the description down below where if you get their app, you can get $100 credit towards something. I don't make any money for this, but you could potentially get $100 worth of stuff that you were just going to buy from Amazon anyway, and you can wait like a week for it to ship to you. It came in like a big, no box, just like a package. So also keep that in mind in terms of like breakable tech. So there you go. Temu. And it's pronounced Temu, even though everybody calls it Temu. We'll see if they decided to give me money for the ad. And if they don't, well, I'm not changing it. Because I would tell you honestly the quality of the stuff that arrived. But legitimately, I expected there to be no chance of them to pay me money for the ad. And the fact that I can legitimately be like, oh yeah, you're getting the exact same stuff at Amazon for double. Why not get it here? That feels like a potential reasonable thing. And doesn't seem like a scam. I was very hesitant. All of their emails were going into my spam box. All 4 people contacted me. It was a very odd situation. And I did try to get all those 4 people to give me more credit, but they didn't seem to follow up on that, so they must have some internal system. Wow, that was long. However, here are the things that they want me to tell you is that you get free shipping, free returns within 90 days, and then also if they're late in their delivery, they'll give you $5 on your next offer, which also seems pretty legit. So all in all, like surprisingly impressed with the quality and am thrilled that I can be like, you know what? It's a decent place to order from, and I think I would do it again. So there you go. That's the ad for Temu. Take that for what you will. Now let's get on with the episode. Much better. Now I can reveal. Now I can reveal my true self. And I will hold you in my heart until I can hold you all in heaven. Let's get into the week. But before we do, I want to give a huge shout out to my newest patron, Hellpet. Thank you, Hellpet, for jumping on board and supporting the channel. And thanks, as always, to my incredible patrons, my incredible community, and the incredible community that we foster here. I love that we can all come together and just talk about the things that we enjoy, the board gaming hobby, and Pablo the Pepper.
Hey.
We enjoy all of them.
Whoa, you know what I enjoy, wise guy? Whacking idiot bigots.
He said it, not me. Let's get into the week. We've got a pretty decent week this week. Maybe. A couple things this week that I'm excited to look at. And the first thing that we are looking at, and maybe I'll get excited after looking at it, is this. Heroes of Xhandar, a trick-taking duel game.
So it's just like Duel Monsters.
Of course I'm excited about it now. Trick-taking and Yu-Gi-Oh! What is it, my birthday? Let's check it out. All right, I'm pretty intrigued. It says, with the familiarity of Wizard, or the simplicity of Wizard, which is a fun game, it's basically Screw Your Neighbor, meets Magic the Gathering. Trick-taking 2 to 5. It said you can do 2 versus 2 or a free-for-all version. And I do love this game contains incredible maxi brick hero figures, which may not be suitable for all audiences. These definitely not Lego figures are really cool, and I wonder if they're cheaper than minis. But I love them. I'm obsessed with these. It gives it that sort of unique flair to it. What a great way to start off the week. $39 for the core pledge as well, although you probably only get 2 heroes with this pledge. Yeah, and then $99 for the all-in. Okay, well, hopefully the base game is good enough, because that's what we're going to look at. Lego friendly. So you basically just get 2 heroes. All right, let's scroll through this junk and scroll through this junk. Don't show that you get more cards in this new expansion. I assume you would. And we'll scroll through this junk. And we're finally at some of how to play. Rules halfway down the page. Yes, let's check it out. Game is usually played over 3 to 5 rounds. Both players draw 10 cards each and play 2 cards per trick over 5 tricks. Player who played the card with the highest value trick wins. Then this player starts the next trick by playing the first card from his hand. You don't have to follow suit. Okay. So it's war battling. Trick taking? You can play a card of any color, except another color says otherwise. So it's just whoever plays the card with the highest value wins. It's not really trick taking, it's just... See, I always thought of war as a deck building game, myself. Each hero has 2 abilities, reveal ability and a spontaneous that can be used anytime, or static ability once the hero is revealed. So you pick your hero and you then can reveal it as like a special power, and then you have a bunch of abilities. I don't know why you wouldn't reveal your hero. All right, so it's really, I'm not getting that good of a sense of it, honestly, of where the fun is. Understand these different heroes, leveling up these heroes. This is when you play with face-up hero cards, so it's just a different mode. If that's not the optimal mode, why would you play with it? I think you would play with that as the optimal mode, and you're leveling up your heroes, they get different abilities. Your hero defines how you win, and you're going to be collecting diamonds. You can see in your stash, there's diamonds that are visible to both players. I don't quite understand why that happens, and then it says that everybody can move diamonds into your stash. It doesn't matter who wins. So, not quite sure why you wouldn't just keep all of your diamonds and then move them in at the end. Not really that exciting, but from what I can intuit, right? Like when the rulebook fails, then you intuit, right? Then you imagine what happens, or you watch this video, I guess, for a bit. Okay, I guess like it's a trick-taking game in a sense that you're playing cards one after another, and so you can decide if you're going to play higher, if you're going to play lower, and the complication will come in is someone going to play a card that's like, actually, the lowest value wins, haha. Got your cards. I don't know. I was really excited by the premise, but not as excited by the rules or explanations. I also think, though, it makes that this Wanderer pledge feels completely fine because there's no sense of why the additional heroes are even fun at all. So an additional $16, so it'd be something like $70 to get to Canada. No, thank you. But I'm happy that it's funded. And if that interests you, and you know more about it than I do, well, let me know. And that finishes Wednesday, September 20th at 5:55 p.m. Also, I think it's rude that they give you the smallest heroes in the base box. That just feels like, I don't know, deliberate Kickstarter trickery, you know? Give a fun hero. Give the 2 big ones, and then add in the other ones, but then he wouldn't sell as many copies, which, there you go. Okay, let's move along quickly to Body of Evidence, the murder mystery autopsy game, tabletop murder mystery with a twist. Examine evidence, scrutinize suspects, and perform a full forensic autopsy on your friends. Oh no, a paper craft CAD. Well, that's a little less exciting. I invited my friends over for autopsy night, and Daryl drew the short straw, and now I don't even get to cut him open and see what he's working with. Ah, what a letdown. All right, so it's just an escape room in a box. It'll cost you $50 Canadian, based out of Toronto. Oh, there you go. Sorry, I didn't email you back. People usually email me and say, hey, I've got this game. Can you please feature it in Crowdfunding Countdown? And I'm like, you know what? I think I will. I'll do that for you, and I'll do it just for you. When really, I look at everything. I look at absolutely everything. It helps to be seen when you have that sort of mandate. I was just looking at their website, though. All of their oh, gross. Look at that. That's disgusting. That's also very fun. And I think that's probably all you need to sell it, right? If you like escape rooms in a box and you see this paper cadaver that you're going to have to cut into, and that gets your spine all a-tingling, 1, I hope you never find out where I live, and 2, then this is for you. This is the first Body of Evidence case. That makes sense, because there are other ones, I think, come in 3s, right? The Experience Campton Moonforest, you see 137 Canadian, or The Lady Afterwards, 235 Canadian. Like, cool. I like that people are enjoying them. And with that price, hopefully you're getting a good production quality. Oh, you'll save 10% of the full price when Body of Evidence goes on sale through the retail channel. So you're not saving a huge amount, And in fact, well, you're going to have to get it shipped to you anyway, right? Like, this is never going to get to retail, so paying 50 instead of 55, shipping $9 to Canada. That's really good. 8.5 US. I mean, the gimmick seems fun, and in escape rooms, or especially escape rooms in a box, I feel like you want that fun gimmick. So definitely seems enjoyable. That seems interesting to you. That finishes Thursday, September 21st at 2:59 a.m. It's tough with these sorts of things because you never know how thrilling it's going to be until you just decide to go down one of the aisles. There's a lot of escape room in a box companies that'll send you stuff. We got one that seemed like really low quality for my parents for Christmas, which we haven't played yet, so actually I don't really know the quality, but like physically it seemed like really low quality, and when it's that low quality, it doesn't encourage you to open it. You think, okay, it's just going to be a bunch of papers. And then sometimes the puzzles can be really fun, but then sometimes it's just a bunch of paper. So this one at least seems to have a nice gimmick attached to it, and maybe that'll be enough. Anyway, let's move on to Void, the cooperative card game. Work with your crew to stave off disaster and make sure George Clooney doesn't float away. Sandra Bullock, you had one job. That's really cool. So this, what have they done before? Well, the characters of Quest. Sure, one of the largest stores of open collections of full color character art in the world. That's neat. I just kind of want to check that out. The idea behind Void that they were saying is that they want this to be an open source board game in which that any of the art in it you can take, you can do what you want with it, you can do anything you want with it, which now that I say that, oh my goodness, I need to do anything that I want with it. Oh, I'm really going down a rabbit hole. My mind is exploding with possibilities. Normally I just steal the characters and hope that the good people at Chili Mafia contact me afterwards and give me an actual good quality file. Oh, geez. Anyway, you can do whatever you want with it. You can make expansions and sell those expansions. They're saying too about this game, and I think that's kind of a neat idea. I also think it makes a pretty smart business sense because if 1 million people are making expansions to your game, well, you got to buy the base game, don't you? So it's a cooperative card game for 1 to 6 players where you and your crew must fight against all odds to make it home. We're coming in for a cuddle, buddy. That's nice. See, I already wanted a cuddle, but he didn't want it just on my legs. I needed to get him a little blanket. The volume might dip because I'm further away from the microphone, and you're just going to have to live with it. All right, let's get back into it. With Event and Jump Decks, no two games are the same. Okay. How does it play? It's a cooperative card game that can be played solo or with as many players as there are crew cards, 6 in the base game. It's tactical, well, until you create new crew cards, because you can create as many crew cards as you want. It's tactical, has a small shelf print, plays in about an hour with players who know how to play. The crew of a starship with 6 systems. Each system has resource that you must manage. Replenish the resource to keep the system functional, or deplete it to use the system's ability. If ever a system is depleted with no resources left, it goes into failure and causes lasting problems until repaired. Perhaps the most important system is the engines, whose system allows the ship to jump 1 step closer to home. 1 event card drawn every turn. That'll have effects on the different systems. It's like if Battlestar Galactica ran in a third of the time. That makes sense. That's what I thought they were getting with the different jumps, right? You have to jump to colorblind considerations that are good. But where's the rule book? No, Void. You say this is Creative Commons. Anyone can make expansions to the Void rule set. Okay, but I would love if you told me the rules instead of giving me just a brief outline. Like, I get you gotta jump places, you gotta do things, but how much stuff do you have to do? And then it's $30, and then there's no shipping information. But there's shipping in here, okay, hidden in here, as always. To Canada, $20. Let's see if the US changes, probably slightly cheaper. United States, $10. So everywhere else, $20 flat, and then to the US, it's 10. So you're looking at 40. You're looking at 50 US. You want to take a chance on this game that doesn't have a rule book and doesn't tell you how it really plays. I got excited about this, but no way. Do better. Do better, indie designers. Like, I'm here. I'm on board. I'm hooked. It was a good video, and then you just don't give me the information that I need to make my own decision. And it's really surprising to me that this has funded with such a rough sketch of the game. Okay, could we have a doc rule soon or video rules? Just post preview rule set of the most recent update. Okay. Rule set preview. All right. But you shouldn't make people dig this much to get it. But way to go, Chuncho. You're the hero that people need. Well, this is also cool. The game's going to be open source. Anybody could print out a copy. I'll probably make a print and play version myself. At such a time, it feels like it would be disingenuous to ask people to pay for what would be free if the project gets funded. Thanks for checking out Void. That's kind of cool in terms of, like, I really like the heart behind this campaign. I think it's got a lot of heart, and that's what it has going for it. Okay, so you're going to be flipping over an event, and that'll determine how many cards you get to draw, and then you have to use those cards to deal with any of the events that happen. The action cards will all have a different symbol on them and a different color associated with them. Some have more than one. It doesn't seem like the action cards do anything else, though, so it doesn't seem like it's like multi-function. You can use it for this, or you can save it for this, which I think would be a little bit more interesting to me. I mean, you gotta get home. You gotta resolve all the jump cards, reach the end game. Yeah, that's kind of what I was expecting it to be. Honestly, for $30, for 50, like it just, I don't know. I don't think so. But if that interests you, that finishes Thursday, September 21st at 1 p.m. Moving along to Peacemakers, Horrors of War. Stop wars between Animal Folk Nation, the cooperative game for 1 to 4 players featuring 6 unique scenarios, brimming with variety and replay value. This is by the same makers of Lands of Galzier, which I need to take a re-look at. They contacted me and they're like, hey, do you want to check this out? And I haven't gotten back to them because I don't know. I don't know. Let me know in the comments if you want me to do a review on Lands of Galzier. Because I thought it looked cute, but I also thought it looked like a lot of reading and like a lot of time. So I'll do it if you all want me to do it, but I probably won't otherwise. But I'm excited to see what this one is, because I thought Lands of Galzier looked well made and looked really cute, and I'm expecting the same from this. There's a lot in me that can't get over that it's just the trailer. They say horrors of war every time. That's how you bring peace. You bring in the horrors of war. I saw Lysistrata. If you want peace among the factions, just bring in the horrors of war. I don't know why we haven't figured that out as a country yet, or as a world yet. How to play. I love these tabs Game Found. That seems pretty easy. Pick a scenario, place figures on the map books, shuffle a few decks, start playing. Each round begins with an adventure phase where you play a resource card or resource cards to survey, travel, fortify, and delegate. And more, like manipulating armies, orders in various ways. Yeah, I saw one in the video that said food poisoning, which I was obsessed with. There's no player turn order, you just cooperate. And then there's the army phase. They act according to their order decks, trying to wipe each other out. So you flip up the 2 cards, and then they comboed into each other. That's kind of cool. And then hopefully you've played your card right earlier to create circumstances where the armies fumble their orders and lose motivation to fight. But careful, we have the horrors of war. Failing to protect the army units and seeing them fall in battle takes a toll on the adventurers in the form of horror cards. Each horror has a unique effect, but they all drain your resources and make the situation even more difficult to control. Tell me about it. You just need to wear them down so they're just like, do we have to really keep fighting? We really, this is tiring, isn't it? And the other side goes, yeah, this is tiring. Let's just have peace. You just wear each other down like the horrors of war that you are. However, if one side's motivation falls too low, they'll surrender instead, and you lose. Yeah, you can't let one win. 6 scenarios are packed full of variety, featuring different armies, units, order deck terrain, optional challenges, and more. Here's the rulebook as well. Download the rulebook. Let's see. You can delegate cards that each adventurer has the right... Oh, I guess because the adventurers are moving around on the map. That's why. So you're going to be moving around on the map, and you can only interact in different ways. And so that's how you can pass cards back and forth. You can see what's upcoming, which is super important, because then you know what you need to stop. And then you just place fortification tokens where you can protect the armies, or you have other new different effects. Yeah, it seems pretty simple, pretty standard. What's our actual price? Because this with the sleeve pack is 96 Canadian or 64 euros. Peacemaker, Horrors of War, yep. And so 54 euros, 81 Canadian. And then shipping is 15 to 20 to Canada, 30 to 35. Like, ugh. So you're looking at about $100. $100 if you don't get sleeves. A little over 100 to get this game to your door. Again, I kind of felt this way about Lands of Galzier. It just feels like a lot for what it is. And like, that's something that's easy to say in most situations. right? You don't even really have to contextual it. It's a lot for what it is. But what it is, like when I spend a premium price, and I consider a premium price over $100, I need a game that's going to be like super rich with decision making, and for me, like super crunchy. And maybe that's unfair to simpler games, but I feel like simpler games are easier to churn out, right? I do like I'm sure the balancing the different portions of the deck so that anything can come up with anything probably took a long time. The art is really cool. When it's going to cost me like $140, $150 Canadian to get this to my door, I think I'm allowed to be a little bit choosy and want something with a little bit more depth than this. And I think it seems fine, but I'm not willing to take a chance on it at that price, for me personally. But if you're interested, check it out. That finishes on the 21st. That's Thursday at 2 p.m. Moving along, I felt we all needed a little bit of a pick-me-up at this point, right? We've got the big box campaign from Shogun, Kingdom Builder, Alhambra. What do all these things have in common? You guessed it, they're from Queen Games, our favorite publisher here around these parts, that somehow manages to pull in like 30,000 every campaign, every Kickstarter, for only 100 backers. That's average $280 Canadian that a backer is spending on this campaign. And I just don't know at this point who is still going back to this well. Who's really returning to this well? I certainly don't even want to taste from it. I mean, we're not going to talk about what these games are. We're just going to look at the prices. We have some designer editions. The Alhambra Designers Edition. Oh, €40 and only 2 backers. This is why we can't have nice things. Or this is why Queen Games is forced to give you apparently nice things. Who knows? Yeah, €120, $170 for a game that I don't care about. Let's move on to We Have Goats. Outsmart chaos, reclaim goats, conquer twists. It feels like the tagline to leaving a Queen Games campaign. Navigate land shifts, outsmart foes, and use magical goat powers to round up mischievous goats, an epic adventure of strategy and luck. Alright, so it's a tile laying game where you want to create a path for your goats. I'm very surprised they didn't say how it's goating, since they want to make everything else a goat pun. Your goats are everywhere but home, and you gotta get your goats home. Be careful, because goatastrophes will wreak havoc and reshape the land. And then you can get hoof bucks to unlock goat powers. $25 for the base game. How much do you want to bet? This is a TikTok game. How much do you want to bet that the first sentence of this is, this fantastic game is we love goats, or we have goats, or this exciting game, this quirky game, this adjective game.
This fun game is we have goats.
Did you hear it? I swear, it's every damn TikTok ad I've ever seen. Shipping, $8 for the base game, 21 Canadian to get to Canada. Yeah, no. I guess the quirky art and the style is appealing to some people. It's not necessarily appealing to me. I don't think I would ever get this to the table. But if that interests you, that finishes Thursday, September 21st at 6 p.m. Moving along, oh no, to something that I'm very interested in. And this is the Everdell Cozy Critters, Blankets, and Plushies. And I'm not interested because of that, but I'm interested because I see this complete collection just looking at me. Just looking at me in the face. And I'm gotta look back right now and see how much the all-in was, the complete collection was last time, back when I think it was a legitimate, incredible deal. The complete pledge. Oh, maybe it wasn't a complete. Oh no. It was $200 US, and now it's here tempting me again. Now, $200 US, remember, after shipping is $300 Canadian. But I'm sorry, you can get these cool blankets? Oh, okay, I need to watch this video. And the shipping by December? Oh no. You know I love Everdell, and I've been trying to not get the complete collection, but maybe this is where I do it. I don't know. Oh, are you kidding me? Look at how big they are. Look at those. They're so cute. For only $20? Get out of here. Oh no. Thankfully, I don't care about plushies. But $20 each. Okay, so $20 is really 30 for Canada. 80 inches, 60 inches. They're really cute, and I don't even care. I don't even care that there's a bear here. That's how cute they are. What's happened to me? Last winter, we finished fulfillment. We gave all of our dedicated employees a gift of a comfy Everdell fleece blanket to keep them warm. The blankets were a smash hit with the staff, and we've enjoyed them all year. So we want to see, do people want cozy Everdell blankets? Friggin' heck, they probably do. Oh, they probably do. Oh my gosh, the Everdell superfan. 15 of them. Oh, only to the States. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. Only to the States. So they got local distributors out there. But just the fact you can get complete collection for $202? I don't know. I know people in the States who I could send this to. Oh, and they have puzzles? Clearly I love Everdell, but like, who wouldn't love Everdell? Plus 1 bag of giving. That seems like an incredible price for... I guess it just fits. Oh no, you're probably just giving it. That makes more sense. Max $25 regardless of how much you order. Plus there's tax. So they must have it on in their store. I just saw the price and I thought maybe that's a good price. But I mean, these blankets look really cute. They look really cute. So if you live in the US and you like the art and you want to get a blanket or a friggin' plushie, check it out. That finishes September 21st at 11:59 p.m. Then now we're on to the big ticket item of the week. We're here with Terraforming Mars, Prelude 2, Milestones and Awards, the Automa Solo Experience, Neoprene Game Boards, and seasonal promos. This has raised over $1 million. I probably should have put out a 5 reasons you should have backed this, but I didn't see it cross the finish line. And I don't have time now. So we're going to check it out right now. I mean, the real reason you shouldn't back this, well, there's two. There's 2 reasons. 1, it'll be in your stores sooner. Hey, sorry about it. And 2, well, everybody just loves Prelude, right? Prelude is the thing that people love and need to get their hands on. I think calling it Prelude 2 is actually like a really smart marketing decision because people are like, oh, Prelude's an auto expansion. An auto include, it's essential. We gotta do it again. But let's actually look at the contents of Prelude 2, which is 5 corporation cards, 25 Prelude cards, and 24 project cards. So, yeah, I mean, probably with the new Prelude cards, that would be an exciting implementation. Although I thought they mentioned somewhere that they were using, our fans have been very active in creating their own content, so we worked with many of them in the creation of Prelude 2 and our promo cards. That's interesting, because I had a conversation with Jacob Frixilius, which you can catch over on the Dice Tower, and I did it for WSBG, and he mentioned that I asked about fan-made expansions and fan-made sort of stuff, and he said, you know, we try not to do too much fan-made stuff. Like, he doesn't even pay attention to the fan-made stuff, because he wants to come up with the ideas on his own. And he's like, okay, if I match with somebody, then sure. But like, I don't want to be accused of like just taking the fans' ideas. Like, I want to retain that sort of creative control almost. Not like creative control, but creative authenticity, which I thought was kind of neat. And so that's why I thought this was an odd statement of like working with fans. But there was a large contest way back in the day in terms of fans submitting their like corporation cards, and I guess they also submitted some potential Prelude cards as well. I also thought it was kind of cool, just again rehashing that interview, is him saying that the promo cards you can get, I was like, because there's so many promo cards with Terraforming Mars, so we asked him about it and he had a full long response, but he said mostly they're like things from the vault that like didn't work and then finally kind of worked. And so that's when they come up with a promo card. They're like, okay, this was an idea that like didn't work for a full set or like wasn't able to be incorporated, and then they tweak to work. So I thought that was just kind of interesting in terms of how promo cards are approached, that sort of thing. The main thing that I am interested in with this new expansion is not the Automa Solo expansion, although Ruel was saying the other day that he had an opportunity to try it out, and he liked that there's now a reason to sort of hate draft and to have some competition for milestones. So that's kind of cool. Really, I think the milestones and the awards and the ability to shake those up in any map and in any board, I think that's a very fun thing and a fun expansion. But I also think it shouldn't cost $10 for 7 pieces of punch-out cardboard. Probably not. I think the markup on this is stupid. And you could probably just punch these out yourself. You could probably just print and play them and put them over your own milestones and have just as good of a time, right? There's a lot of this that I've never understood the price disparity between the contents of what you actually get versus other board games that are priced similarly. I always compare Wingspan to this, and I think it kind of has about the same cards. And in Wingspan, you get a lot better production value. So I've never been that excited about it. I do love the rulebooks right here, though, right near the top of the page. New rulebooks telling you how it works. Let's look at the awards and milestones, see if I'm right. Way to go. Way to friggin' go, Terraforming Mars. That's great. By dealing any cards to the players, before dealing cards, randomly choose 5 milestones and 5 award tiles and replace the ones printed on the game board. Look at that. If playing with a Venus expansion, always add Venophile and Hoverlord as normal. And then would you look at that, you have something down here that tells you what they all are. So if you wanted to, you could print and play them. That's all I'm saying. Could have been a print and play. Prelude 2 rules. I bet it's mix everything else in. Oh, that's cool. Some Preludes will now have actions or effects on them, and it'll have the required expansion on the bottom. Oh, and this is neat. If you're about to play a Prelude card, it turns out you cannot play it. To perform all of its effects, you must reveal and discard it and receive $15. That's cool, because you could get, I guess you could get into a place where everybody places all the oceans before you can, like right at the beginning of the game. I don't know if there's that many ocean Preludes, if that's possible, but that's cool that there's a rule for that. There's a rule for that. That being said, if you're a solo player, I understand wanting the Automa, but just, let's see, $45. Whoa! This is new. Kickstarter. That's not in anything else over here. Oh, there's story, risks, environment. Story. It's just because I've been seeing the story. Risks. Kickstarter. Watch out story. Yeah, no. This is Terraforming Mars. Where are you? Honestly, more Terraforming Mars. Honestly, the fact that there's this dang side menu, they're coming for Game Found. Kickstarter, the dinosaur, has learned to adapt. That's also something that's so surprising to me. And the fact that I can just now click through the new rulebooks, like, honestly, I'm glad I didn't do a 5 reasons you shouldn't back, because this makes me so happy. And the fact that Terraforming Mars, or the people running it, were like, hey, you know what? We're going to actually make use of this new thing that Kickstarter rolled out and updated it and made it usable for people who are interested in finding information. That's great. However, no, what's not great is $22 shipping to Canada. When you know it's Terraforming Mars, none of this stuff is going to be exclusive. None of this stuff is going to be unavailable down the line. I mean, maybe the neoprene mats, but if you're a neoprene mat person, you and I, we don't align. And I know you're going to spend the money on it. I know I can't stop you. You know what? At least it makes a bit more sense paying for a neoprene mat. I get that more than paying the 20 or whatever bucks it is for two additional maps. I just find everything Terraforming Mars so expensive, and that's such a shame because I also think it's a fantastic game. So if any of this stuff interests you, I'm sure you've checked into it by now. I get it. I get everybody's going to want Prelude 2. I also don't see this giving you a discount. What's the discount here? You're getting unlocked milestone promos. Sure, who cares? Here's the daily promo unlocks. A new Prelude card, a new corporation card. So this is the stuff that's not going to be in Prelude 2. You get a few additional cards. Basically, they try to have a card for every day of the campaign, right? They're going to have a new card for every day of the campaign. So you can get a few more Prelude cards, a few more items, but I get it. I get it because I feel the want inside myself. I just know that these promo packs are generally available, you know? And I feel like you'd be able to pick them up down the line. And I also feel like if you didn't know they existed, would you miss them? I don't think so. I think if you're getting all the Prelude stuff you need, you're like, but there's that one corporation. Print out its ability, see if you have fun with it. Then again, I also get it. If Terraforming Mars is your game, this could be an auto back, and I understand. Anyway, that finishes Friday, September 22nd at 12 p.m. Moving along to Meteor Heroes. Become the most famous hero in Justice City. Meteor Heroes is a strategy game with loose area control and push your luck elements. 28 backers. All right, this seems very bold that their goal was only £500. Competitive light area control strategy game with push your luck elements. Yeah, you're trying to control sections of the city so that the people in those sections help you take down crimes because you can't do it yourself, but you want all of their attention. Look who just woke up. See? Proof I'm not just laying down on the job. £6 shipping to the US, to the UK, 25 and 25 to Canada and the US. They're working on a PDF version of the rulebook and cards in German. Well, it would be great to know a PDF version of the rulebook in English, too. That apparently you have, but is not here. But otherwise, like, if you're in the UK, £40 for, I don't know. I think this one could be, like, fine. You know, as far as, like, really indie, low-funded games go, I think it could be fine. I like that you got a bunch of different stats, and you can build up those different stats. I say this having not read the rulebook, and you should never get it, because I haven't. But, you know, that's my consolation prize to you, Meteor Heroes. We don't want the vegetarian ones. We want the Meteor ones. That finishes Friday, September 22nd at 12 p.m. Moving along, just quickly, to Tantrum House Season 10 Board Game Media. Yeah, I like calling ourselves Board Game Media. Tantrum House has a Kickstarter. Everybody has a Kickstarter. Should Ruined Board have a Kickstarter? I don't even know what I would kickstart. I would say, hey, I'm going to keep doing the same stuff I'm doing, and hope you like it. Give me a large chunk of money? Would that work? Do you think that would work? I think it would work. Because I certainly would not have the rewards that would entice anybody to back it. That's why I'll stick with OnlyFans. Patreon. Stick with Patreon. But yeah, you know what? I like to emphasize and or be a nice colleague in the space. So I'll always kind of highlight anybody's Kickstarters because maybe there's a super expensive promo card that you want to get here that you should have gotten. That's a cool shirt, though. That's a really cool shirt. That you should have gotten on the Terraforming Mars Kickstarter, but some idiot told you not to, and that you didn't need it, and now your whole life is ruined. Maybe there was that. So there you go. Shipping rates. It shows promos, free shipping worldwide, of course, good. Free US shipping, and then 25 for like bags and stuff. Look at all those people. One day we'll have a room and board Kickstarter. And that will be when I can pay Zach full time to be on the channel. So let's move along to something that we all needed to have on this channel as well. The reason why we make the big YouTube bucks here. This is the reason. I am fairly certain that Premature, an immature game where the premature lose, is an adorable, not safe for work card game that translates to only one thing. A funny card game, everybody. I'm gonna look at it. Duration, 2 minutes. Well, you know, 2 minutes plus. Could be longer. And that's about as funny as any card you'll see in this campaign. And how fitting that their video was just, hey, did you get that our mascot was a dick? I did not. And now I do, and now I'm upset. No. There's literally no information about even what this game is. They just say it's a lot of fun. Oh, there's this how to play. Well, am I going to sit through it? I do this for you. I do it for you. Honestly, this is the stupidest game out of stupid games I've ever seen on Kickstarter. I've covered over 1,500 Kickstarters, and I can definitively say that this is the dumbest one that I have ever seen. Yeah, because you know what it is? You're flipping over cards until you say, should I flip over another one? I don't know. Is there going to be a bust card happening? Who knows? That's the game. This is the game that they're trying to convince you to buy. This is the game that they said they poured all of their hard work into. And I don't want to be that person, but you need to do something else. You do. I don't know why this exists or why anyone would, in their right mind, want to play this. This is a stain upon push your luck games. This is a stain upon board gaming, and this is a stain upon your sheets. See, I stooped to your level. Are you okay? We're cordial. We're cordial and having a good time, but seriously, this is the most inane, dumb game I've ever seen in my entire life, and may God have mercy on the souls of those who have created it. I feel like no one who plays this game should draw the bust card ever, because playing this game will likely make you impotent. And these 85 backers, please come into contact with me. I will pay for your therapy bills, and I will send you each a copy of Quacks of Quedlingberg. If you want to push your luck game, oh geez, just play anything else. Play a game. This isn't even a game. Hey, do you want to just keep flipping over cards from a deck and see who flips over a red card first? Does that sound like a great night out to you? Does that sound like a night's entertainment? No! To have this categorized under tabletop games on Kickstarter is offensive to me. And I'm matching. I can't even believe it. I'm even wearing my mascot-shaped necklace. Honestly, you should hold this game in your hearts until you hold it in heaven, because it should die a horrible death here on Earth and never be seen by anyone. I don't know if I've made my stance on this clear or not, but I don't think it looks very fun. I don't know if that was clear. Oh. This is worse than Ouch. This is like a worse version of Ouch. And at least in Ouch, you had a decision to make. You held which side of the card, and then you say, oh, dang it. I should have held the opposite side of the card. This one, you're just flipping over cards. You've made a worse game than Ouch. And maybe that's great, because I could finally stop, ragging on Devere Games, which I felt very bad in the interview. When he mentioned the small card games, I was like, okay, no, don't talk about those. Don't talk about that line. I gotta avoid that subject. But this is definitively more horrible than the worst game I've ever seen. I would rather play, and this will tell you something, I would rather play 5 games of the Night Cage in its 45-minute glory than play 1 game of this 2-minute game. That's how horrible this game is. You've ruined a perfectly lovely theme. You have put any sex-positive talk back 20 generations. Yeah, and I mean generations. We're back to, I don't know, generations like, 30 years? We're back to the 1400s. That's what we are. And it's your fault, Premature. It's your fault. Let's move along to a print-and-play game about trains. Only you can save us now, you 22 backers. Roll the dice and rule the rails. Create railroad connections across this land in this roll and write print-and-play board game. Let's roll some trains. It's going to be €3, 5 Canadian. That's it. And you know what? I bet this is going to be just fine. Get it if you want. You can skip to the next one, which will be another roll and write game about trains or training. Oh, I gotta go take a break. I am taking a break to drive Renee somewhere, but to her book club. And she just said to me, do you know you're wearing this necklace on camera? How dare you, Renee? I've been wearing it so much around her and only her, and she's very annoyed at me that I keep wearing it because I think it's so funny. Thanks, Temu. You did this. All right, back to trains in a second. All right, let's get back into it. You gotta move stuff to stuff. Construct railroads, use them for delivery. Okay. I like this. I like this grid-based action deciding system. You roll 3 dice. You assign them to an action grid. I don't know if you can assign duplicates. Probably doesn't matter. And they get to choose 1 out of the 3 actions. Get money, build a railroad, build a factory, build a station. Each time you build something, you need to pay the price. You always have to pay the price. It's like being on Kickstarter with a game that makes Queen Games look better. You have to pay the price. Deliver goods from factories to cities. So you're building a factory in a place, I guess. You have to deliver goods through railroads to get points. Yep, you can deliver at most 1 good each round. Okay. After delivery, factory and all railroads used to deliver this good must be removed, except for railroads in cities and a space with a factory from which the good was delivered. So you're destroying, man, this infrastructure is not good because you're just destroying them. I'm sorry, you gotta remove all the railroads. It's a one-time use railroad system. That's what they did across America. The once only. But we worked so hard. Sorry. And you get points for a variety of things. Earlier the better, longer the better. Well, I've heard longer the better. It's the first time I've heard earlier the better. Type of good delivered. And what's cool too, that for €6, you're going to get 12 extra maps, right? That's the way to do it. There's also map packs with 3 maps for €2. So you can €6, you get 9. I think this looks quite good as far as roll and writes go. I think it looks better than the average roll and write that we see on Kickstarter. And if you like route building games, seems kind of fun. I like the action selection mechanic, and I think it feels like it's utilized pretty neat here. So check that out. The finish is September 25th, Monday at 12:35 p.m. Moving along to Age of Swords, epic strategy board game print and play. The Age of Swords, the epic Evil Knievel strategy board game. Conquer the Klingon with cunning and skill. Support our crowdfunding. Okay, I am clearly not doing that. Well, this one, it's only €2. However, I'm really surprised that that Rollin' Trains only has 22 backers. Give them a couple bucks or something. there's this whole write-up about how it's super strategic, and then it shows a D20. It's like, hey, but you gotta see, will you win because of the luck of the dice? I mean, that's fine. I like dice rolling games, but don't put yourself forward as like the emblematic of all things strategy when it's all dice rolling. You're gonna have a bunch of different stats, and this shows kind of like your positioning. So if you like a game that's tactical and positioning with a bunch of stats, yeah, check it out. 30-minute strategy card game for 2 players. That's pretty much all it gives you. Most print and plays don't give you the rulebook, although I'm surprised this one doesn't, because it kind of feels like it should. No one's going to replicate your exact breakdown of what all the stats are for someone. So, I don't know. I think Rolling Trains looks a lot better just from the initial glances than Age of Swords, but there you go. Moving along to Barrage New Lands. Explore new possibilities for the game you love. Get 2 original expansions. Include 1 dedicated for 2-player games for Barrage. I've been really interested in Barrage for a long time. It's super high up on the Board Game Geek charts. It's a very heavyweight game all about diverting water flow and using that hydroelectric power for your own nefarious deeds. And so I feel like for something like this, something where it's an expansion for a game that's like super well known, it's always strange to see it on Kickstarter. I mean, I guess you're doing the same thing with Terraforming Mars. It is strange to see that on Kickstarter, but I understand that because their model is promos. Like, they have so many promo cards throughout. So we'll see what this is kind of about. Probably not going to go into this one in too much detail, because if you love Barrage, you probably don't need this expansion, because Barrage is already rated super highly, and you love it anyway. And if you don't love Barrage, well, this expansion isn't going to change your mind. And if you've never played Barrage, like me, well, I'm not going to start with this expansion because it's already a 4-point-something complexity scale on Board Game Geek, right? So, well, let's see what it's all about. All right, I didn't know that Barrage was first founded on Kickstarter. They said back in 2008 in the video. Yeah, back over here. Brought to you by Cranio Creations. Oh, 2018. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes more sense. Makes a lot more sense. For this, they're giving you 2 things. One being a Colorado map, where there seem to be more action spaces, but there's a give and take about what you do. And then a Kickstarter exclusive 2-player mode, Barrage Duel. And you know why it's Kickstarter exclusive? Well, apparently it's only Kickstarter exclusive because you all wanted it. That's the reason. Because we wanted to give you all credit for the ideas, and so therefore we felt we should make it Kickstarter exclusive. Because there would be no way to do that if you made it at retail, right? If you made it not Kickstarter exclusive. I don't know about that. Like, just be honest. Just be honest. Say, like, listen, not enough people are going to want this in retail. And so if you want it now, you got to get it, because we're going to have a low print run. We don't anticipate a lot of people wanting this. But we're making it for the people who do want it. Like, that would get you so much more credibility than just making up some weird, stupid, definitely made up excuse about wanting to preserve the audiences and give them credit, right? Like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. However, €15 for a new map and 40 new tiles? I like that a lot. I know I don't like $20 for 2 new Terraforming Mars maps, but that's because it's double-sided and it's only 1 sheet of paper. This feels more genuine to me. And €15 for Duel, only for 2 players. This at least feels very reasonable. Plus 24 euros, 35 Canadian for both expansions. That feels really reasonable. If you're a fan of Barrage, it makes sense to jump in now because of that duel mode, probably. Duel, I don't know. I mean, it's just because I don't like the tug of war mechanic. That's why. And it's basically 7 Wonders Duel times 3 with variable conditions every game. That's what they said. There's going to be 3 different conditions, and it's a push and pull, and you can get new bonuses if you pull hard enough, which is better than a rash, right? Sorry, I got distracted by this quote. I love this game. I'm a huge fan of heavy games, and Barrage is considered one of the heaviest. So there you go. I quite enjoy games, and Barrage is a game. That should tell you everything you need to know. You should probably back. Anyway, I really want to try Barrage. I want to learn it, rather, or I want somebody to teach it to me at some point in time when I have time. No, you know what? I want the time to learn more new popular games and access to those games. That's what I want, if I'm really going to hone in on the want. I also love that their sleeves are sponsored by Wu-Tang Clan. I think that's what that is. Shipping 0 to Italy, because you can pick it up. Canada, €9. USA, €9. Europe, €5. Feels very affordable. I know it's on Board Game Arena. That's why I changed my want. Rulebook's basically at the bottom of the page, but I think in this expansion, they gave a really good breakdown anyway, so I'm not like that upset about it. So there you go. Check that out if you want. That finishes Tuesday, September 26th at 9:48 a.m. Moving along to our final one of this week, Lumberjack Games with Flapjacks, Sasquatch, Rocket, and more. An all-new Flapjack and Sasquatch game alongside a Take That card game about lumberjacks with rocket launchers and more. So there's more than one. By Jeff Tidball, who the name sounds familiar. I feel like he did that very... Oh, yeah, of course. I know why the name sounds familiar. Because I backed Broken and Beautiful. And I got a notification in my inbox about this game going live. I'm like, I feel like someone told me to look at that. They did. Broken and Beautiful, I thought was great price. It gives me exactly what I wanted from it. I did not need the deluxe version. I was very happy with this little version right here. Little set collection game. That was $15, and I ate the shipping on it because I didn't think I'd be able to get it. I feel like that's what Kickstarter is about. So let's see if this one kind of holds up as well. Easy laughs and proven joy. 3 Lumberjack games you can play with anyone you know. A stretch goal, free for most backers when unlocked. So Lumberjacks and rocket launchers is going to be $12. Yeah, that's what I like to see. And then Flapjack, because it is a dice game, I think, is $24. And then of course you can go crazy with collectors because you just need to keep raising it. And I guess that's true. I love seeing on Kickstarter people realize the Kickstarter strategy. It's like, hey, I just add like metal stuff and just more things to the game that actually don't impact the gameplay whatsoever, make it any better at all, and more people will buy this thing? That seems a bit weird, doesn't it? All right, let's see. Flapjacks the Sasquatch dice game. Push your luck dice game with chopping down trees and wolfing down flapjacks. You get 2 rerolls. You reroll your dice, Yahtzee style. Roll 5 dice. Score as many of your trees as you can cut down with your axes before moving to the fateful decision. Eat your flapjacks now or save them for a more delicious payoff later on. Because you can hold on to flapjacks and eat them, or you can decide to eat them later. That's funny. What do you got to say, Danny? Tell me the flapjack rule, will you? Thank you, Danny. I knew you wouldn't let me down. Your pancakes can get stolen. And they will, by other people, or by a Sasquatch. That's all I needed to know. Lumberjacks with rocket launchers. This is the cheaper one, so this is the one that I'm more interested in. I guess it's cheaper because there's no dice, right? Cards are generally cheaper than dice. Well, I'm glad you included this tagline, because now I'm probably not interested. Fast-paced Take That card game. I don't like Take That, unless it's in Unfair. How to play. Play a rocket. Aim it at the well-armed logger sitting to your left or right. Or play a different card to change up the rockets. Fire and rearrange the rockets until someone plays rocket time. Then anyone with 3 rockets pointed at them blows up. Yeah, you know what? I take it back. That actually sounds really fun. It's cool without the intrigue, you know? It's the Mexican standoff where everyone's pointing guns at each other and then someone's like, fire! That's pretty funny. And then finally the stretch goal. Hey, okay. Which is currently locked. A combat memory game where Sasquatches lurk near every logging camp. If unlocked, Squash and Seek will be free for all deluxe Flapjack and higher. Okay, no. Deluxe is $49. So if you ever want to get something over here or something over here and you were thinking I could maybe get that, no. That's silly and I'm not looking at it. But I'm actually surprised that this Lumberjacks with Rockets feels like potentially pretty fun. Again, $12 is a good price for it. Like the way Jeff Tidball puts these games and prices these games, they feel fair, they feel reasonable. $24 for a bunch of dice. Rulebook's down here, but I don't feel like I need to read it. I felt like they're fairly simple. I got it. Shipping is $5 to the US, $13 to $15 to Canada. That's why I had to do a group buy, which I did. And I think some of the people in the group buy sometimes watch this channel. So if you're watching, hey, that was a great group buy to get Broken and Beautiful. Very lovely people who I wish we got to hang out and actually play a game of Breakout. But I was doing WSBG, so we couldn't. Yeah, 13 to 15 to Canada, but 5 to the US, right? 5 to the US is very reasonable. Lumberjacks and Rocket Jacks also feels like potentially a good time. I mean, I think you just get coup, honestly, but even still, that finishes Tuesday, September 26th at 10 p.m. And that's it. That is it for this week. But every week, of course, I do a pick for me and a pick for you. The pick for me being the thing that I am the most interested in, personally, and the pick for you being the thing that I think if you got, you may not regret. Or might be a good value, or I don't know what it is. We never know. It's always something different. So now I've got to look back and remember if there's anything. Yeah, that's probably it. It's kind of a cop-out, but it's probably it. That could be it too. This is a weird one, but I'm going to do it. I don't have a pick for me. If anything was my pick for me, I think it'd be Rolling Trains, maybe. I think I'd enjoy playing that, and I'm definitely the most intrigued by that one. Or really, it's Everdell. It's an Everdell blanket. And the Everdell blanket could be the pick for you. But I think the pick for you is if you own Barrage and you like it, this feels like an okay deal. And I kind of want to do it just to stick it to Terraforming Mars. Although, to be fair, Terraforming Mars, I feel this might be one of their best Kickstarters ever. However, you can get the Scout expansion. Like, I just want to put these two things in comparison. Terraforming Mars, this gives you, what, 50 cards? It's 50 cards for $29 or $40 Canadian plus shipping. So it's like $50 for me. It's like $1 a card. For Barrage, also plus shipping, 9, we're looking at around 45. I could get 2 new completely different game modes that have been developed and fleshed out, right? Completely different game modes, completely different in terms of how they play according to the main game, at least it seems. And when you put those two things in perspective, it just, again, highlights how much of a bad value Terraforming Mars is. That being said, I'm sure the contents of this will be enjoyable for your game. I know it will. But I just think you wait until retail, because I don't know if the promos make it worth it. Shipping seems fairly low. But I do love, actually, I should highlight Terraforming Mars again, and I think this is lovely. The Scout Expedition doesn't have the Automa in it. And I think that's awesome. You know what? I'm changing it. This is my pick for me now. I'm changing it because of this. Because they're having a pledge where it doesn't have the Automa. Me, as a non-solo player, I don't ever want to play the Automa. And so I like that it is its own separate thing. And so I could get those things if I wanted them into my games. I mean, really the pick for me is just look up the different milestones and then just play them in your base Terraforming Mars game and see if you like them, right? I don't know. But if you feel like you've worn out your Preludes and you wanted more, I understand. So it's kind of back and forth between these two already established titles, and that's because the other titles currently this week just don't seem like they hold up to games that you could get at retail in a modern setting. So that's what I think. That's the official verdict. Give me the gavel, I'ma bang it. Thanks everybody for being here. We will see you next week. Next week, Crowdfunding Countdown, which I'm going to film right now, honestly. Yeah, I'm going to film it right now. I'm going to get it done because I'm shifting into World Series of Board Gaming mode. And I'll be in Vegas at the World Series of Board Gaming when the next one drops. I hope that goes well, and I have enough time to build everything I need for streaming, which you can find on Dice Tower as well, because we're streaming over there. Contemplate going next year. Really. That's my pick for you. Stop spending so much money on Kickstarters and plan to go to World Series of Board Gaming next year. Because again, it's probably still going to be a good deal, even though they're going to raise the prices again. It's probably still going to be a good deal, and it'll be a fun time. Oh, one thing I do want to mention. Oh no. You're broken and beautiful. And I can say this because it's the end of the video, and no way Temu is going to ever jump to the end of the video. Definitely counterfeit. Because I got my neighbor and friend Yuval's copy of The Crew, and I looked at the difference, and it's for sure counterfeit. I don't know. Well, there's just difference of quality in the cards and whatever. And I think they're about the same price anyway as your regular store. So unless it was a significant discount and you wanted to treat this as a little bootleg print and play, I'd just do the real thing. But the other stuff, hey, the other stuff's also probably counterfeit, and you just don't care because it's a tech thing. You know what I mean? They're doing the same thing, and they're probably, taking some intellectual property. When you think about it, all of this sort of knockoffs of something are counterfeit, and it just depends on what we value. So decide what you value. But I just wanted to let you know that, oh yeah, for sure. But it's a very good counterfeit, but still probably a counterfeit. Anyway, thanks for the sponsorship, Temu. Because hey, maybe I can get another sponsorship out of them. If they gonna be pirates, I'm gonna be. What can I say? Thanks for watching. My name's Chris George. I don't have a catchphrase. but I do have a new outlook on life. To the high seas! This, for reference, was like a pirate's, eye patch and telescope, and not a racist dog whistle. I just want to be clear, because I just realized when I did that maybe it was that. And I hope it wasn't. Certainly hope it wasn't. Okay, bye. I mean bye. I mean just bye. No, none of that. Okay, one. Oh, jeez. This is really unfortunate ending. Thankfully, most people have turned it off by now.